Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Happy Monday to you all. Um, okay. All right, all right, all right. So I was just working on something up until the very last moment. Sometimes people share things on the Twitter, and in turn, I like to share them with you because for some of you all, there's no other place to see it. So I'm going to show that to you later. And in the meantime, let me get my slides up. Okay. Which, of course, I was working on that to the last minute. Uh, oh, there we go. Yeah, today is the 27th. Well, this month is truly lingering. Um, but usually by the last Sunday of June, that is the last of the Pride Day parades or Pride festivals around the country and indeed around the world. So for the month of June, that is usually the Pride month. So that is usually the last of those. As you know, there was some tragedy. I believe it was in Sweden where some crazed gunman went into a couple of establishments, bars, if you will, and just started shooting. So um, very crazy this weekend, along with the usual stuff that happens in the news. So, and of course, there's still the reverberations of the Supreme Court ruling, which I'm not really going to get into that today. I think we've had a couple days of that, so I think it's time that we lay back for that subject for a little while. Okay, let me say hi to a few people. Um, okay, let's see here. Hey, Mo Shannon, Thea is here. MLC, Marcy Foreman, Elaine Parker, Hazel Bryan is here. Sister wants to say hi to a few people. Fancy is here. Alma Andrews, Alita Portress, Judy Regault, Angela Thomas. Okay, Rosanna Smith, Iris Demonia, excuse me, Dolores Williams, Trinette Mitchell, Sonia Diana. Is that right? No, that's not right. Yeah, it is Sonia. Connie Balmer. Hello, Connie Balmer. Rick is here. Just the tea, please. Just the tea. Okay, there you go. Here's a little tea for you. Okay, and okay, Gwendolyn Daniels, Ruth Lopez, McCoy lady. No, that's the real McCoy. Orlando Morris. Hi. Annie Bullard. Lucy Wynn. Hello, hello, and even more hellos. Okay, Kay Costello. All right. Oh, hi, Lydia. Hi, Lydia. Let me see. Rosa Roberts. Hi. Okay, so that's most of y'all. I think I got you. Okay, Vanessa V. Raven. Um, Yvonne Clark. Hi. Dorothy Ross. Hello. Okay, I think I got most there. Oh, Bonnie Mighty. Karen M. All right, Lambert Charles. All right. Oh, one more. Marsha Taylor. Okay, so that's that. Again, you guys, thank you for the 7 million views. Thank you so much for the 7 million views. I am in awe of that. 7 million views. That is hard for me to imagine that for on 7 million occasions, someone logged on to their computer or device or whatever and somehow find themselves on Royal Sussex. And for some of you all, I know that you know who you are. You have watched some of these videos multiple times. And that is the most exciting, most flattering thing I could imagine. So a little bit of Royal Sussex goes a long way, I guess. Hello, TCC son. Oh, I know what I need to do. Let me alert our friends on Twitter that we are here. There we go. Friends on Twitter. Okay, you just heard that little echo. That was me. I heard that myself. Don't worry, it is not anything messing up. Okay, so to the people of Twitter, we are here. Okay. All right, let me do that. Yeah, doing the thumbnails, gosh, that's a lot of work sometimes. I don't use a program for that. I actually use just a lot of, basic iPhoto. So I do all of those myself, and that's why they take so long. Okay. It's a process, but it's fun. It gives you a chance to be creative, I think. So, oh, I know, I'll just do that. And then we're good. Thank you so much for your patience. Okay. Now streaming. And on with the show. Okay, so 7 million views. I'm happy. Okay, let me see. Beverly Hardy says, thoughtful Monday, Baron, Church Nelly, Patricia, Lydia, Edith. Edith is here. Hi, Edith. Has anybody heard from Miss S? Anita, Essie, Rosa, Jacqueline, Geraldine, Arnaud, um, Cookies and Creme, Anastasia, Southern Lady, Fancy. I'm trying to use my French accent. Assistant, how do you say the assistant CC on Dolores and Squaddies. Okay, Squaddy. There you go. Oh, that's so French. I'm getting hot and bothered by that. Let's see. So Lydia says, no word on Miss S. That is alarming, isn't it? Wow, now I feel weird. Okay. Well, anyway, hopefully, anyone who is related to Miss S, who may happen to follow the Sussex squad across these various platforms, we are going to send our prayers because we know Miss S has had bouts of illness, I suppose. And anyway, we wish the best for her. Okay, so there you go. Let's talk about money. The bags of money. The requirement to pay in cash. Now, see, here's the trouble with the thing about cash. Um, it's like with, let's say, anytime there's an investigation of, say, a drug lord or something like that, I always assume that whatever amount of cash that you hear about on the television, on the news program, that some of that money may have found itself have gone astray. I mean, it's hard to say. I can't accuse anybody of anything because I don't know. But that's the whole thing is that when you're dealing with cash, unlike a let's say a certified check, a bank check, or some type of financial note, that would have um, the element of being traceable. You know, those numbers are solid, steadfast, and so if you were to add that money to a fund, it would go through official channels. And increasingly, you have people that are accusing the not the town of London, but the city of London, not the metropolitan London, but the city of London, London of being some type of big financial tax haven or some complicated multinational corporation that has been accused of laundering money. That is what they say, and you know, they are never wrong. So these very complicated financial dealings that also include those, what is it, the Panama Papers, Jersey Island, and just think, there was a time when we used to think that if you had your money in a Swiss bank, that that was so secretive. And I think that some of these very powerful interests, they were the ones who lobbied, who petitioned, who appealed through international courts and the United Nations to get the Swiss to drop that ultra secret privacy of your bank accounts so that they can tax people who were trying to hide money. And so what happened? They just moved it to the Cayman Islands. And as much as I adore that little tiny principality of Liechtenstein, it appears that they seem to give cover to people who want to hide money. It's incredible the amount of money from places like Russia, from China, and other places where they don't necessarily trust their authoritative government. They will rather shift that money into the United Kingdom, into the United States. And real estate is one of the best ways to fill your coffers with cash. It's also a great way to launder money. Now, that being said, I'm not accusing anyone directly. This is something that appears to be some kind of very mass conspiracy, if you will, to help people hide their wealth, to help people conceal the amount of money that they are usually taking from the poor people and working class people of their respective governments or countries. And so, am I accusing the Duke of, well, I'm sorry, the Prince of Wales, Duke of Cornwall, et cetera, et cetera? Not directly, but I'll tell you this much: if you have bags of cash and you have the occasional, let's say aide or courtier, who would know the difference? Who would know the difference? So let's say they receive a get well card. That happens, believe it or not. People will send get. There was a very wealthy guy who left his fortune so that the Queen could buy another yacht. And Boris Johnson even floated the idea of creating some type of new Britannia that will sail the seven seas, that would sail the oceans of the world, so that there would be some type of diplomatic outposts for a dwindling empire. I mean, you guys do know you're down to just a handful of the realms that you had, let's say 70 years ago, 80 years ago. But yet somebody floats the idea, "Ooh, let's buy another yacht." So the money is coming from somewhere. The money is going somewhere. And if you're dealing with cash, they say it's $1 million. Well, what does that translate to in pounds? What is the exchange rate? And is that exchange rate actually being met? But guess what? They're not even going to investigate this. I told you guys yesterday, and I stand by this. I don't know how this hurts Charles. I just don't think it will. This is not going to hurt him. Um, what has happened, and it will be forgotten about. And when I say they, I do mean the establishment. They brutalized an American woman of color. And guess what? Nobody cares. Nobody is defending her over there. Nobody cares. It's just a handful of people like Dr. Shola, Alex Beresford, and of course, a few other people. But by and large, nobody cares that the Duchess of Sussex has been bullied and menaced by the establishment, including the tabloid press. Nobody cares that a prince of the blood, Prince Harry, the Queen's so called favorite grandson, nobody cares what happened to him. What's amazing is just like watching the I guess the Colosseum in Rome, where they used to throw people to the lions. It's amazing how many people are so comfortable watching this attempt to destroy the Sussexes. And I do say attempt because they have failed and they're going to continue to fail. But it's just amazing how much they don't care about that. And people just literally say, well, they knew what they had coming. She knew what she was getting into. It's incredible. And that display of the children of the Cambridges, it almost sounds like I was going to say children of the corn, right? Not yet. But the way they treated that situation with the Cambridge children, where they looked incredibly sad, unhappy, and miserable, and then they began to misbehave in front of all of the cameras that were out there that day, they don't care. So, what would anybody care about Prince Charles and some bags of money? I say nothing. It's nothing is going to come of that. It is going to go through a couple of news cycles. People are going to be outraged and that false indignation. And then suddenly we'll be like, oh, yeah, I remember that. That was when that's all that's going to happen from that. Don't expect much. Nothing to see here, folks. Move along, go home. Uh, if you've seen one fire, you've seen them all. But don't expect much from this. This is not going to prevent him from being the next sovereign. This is not going to tarnish his already tarnished reputation. He doesn't have too much further down that he can go. Okay, Teresa, Therese, that is, says, thank you, hate watchers, orcs and trolls, for boosting Royal Sussex to 7 million views. Rootin' Tootin' Dan Wooten. And Thomas Markle Jr., thanks for the shout out. Yes, for the so-called Sussex squad. As a matter of fact, since you brought it up, not me, let's do it. That's a fun exercise. Why don't we do it, shall we? It's not too early.
Thomas, I wanted to ask you about these vile individuals who refer to themselves as the Sussex Squad.
So I come to my dad's house and start going through it, and I look on YouTube, and my God, I see the Sussex Squad and the Royal Sussex page on YouTube and the things they post, and that's where I found that disgusting video making fun of my father just because he's going to the Jubilee. I mean, and if you look on the Royal Sussex page on YouTube, you're going to see exactly whose it is. It's definitely Meghan Markle. And if it's not her personally, she's definitely paying somebody to do it.
What can I say? They tried. And Thomas Markle Jr., come on, that was some of the worst acting I've ever seen. That was some of the worst acting I have ever seen. I mean, Rotten Tomatoes, that was really, really poor acting. Again, thank you so much for the super chat, Therese. And thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. Happy Monday to you. And then there's Sean, who has a super chat. Speaking of money, Will and Kate lost half the Commonwealth, in which it cost the Queen that same bag of money Charles has. He's given that bag to Lizzie because Will and Kate lost half the Commonwealth. You know, I think I recall something about losing half the Commonwealth. Let me look into my mental Rolodex and see if there's any information about that. Let's see. You know, I keep meticulous records here. And if there are any records about a loss of the Commonwealth, you know, I'll find it. And oh, I think I found it. Hit it. And just think, that's somebody's mama dancing with him. Whew. Thank you so much for the super chat, Sean. And thank you so much for reminding us that somehow that Will and Kate, even though they were on an all expense paid vacation to the Caribbean, somehow they managed to lose half the Commonwealth. You couldn't make up stuff like that. And obviously, when the Queen realized exactly what happened, I'm sure she was none too happy about that. She probably had a very strong look of disgust on her face. Like that. I wonder if that's where that meme comes from. Again, thank you so much for the super chat, Sean. Happy Monday to you, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Okay, you guys, that was a nice little break beat. That gives us a little energy for a Monday, courtesy of Sean. You know who I'm missing is Stephen Black. Stephen Black, if you can hear us, we have taken a liking to some of those incredibly innovative memes that you created. And now we don't have any, so there seems to be a void in our life. So Stephen Black, if you can hear us, we'll be waiting for like your next very cool, clever meme that you can create for us. We're all waiting for it. So anyway, you are greatly appreciated for your work, and thank you, and hope to see you soon. Okay. All right. So moving right along, Moneybags Qatari Sheikh 3 million euros to Prince Charles stuffed inside shopping bags will be probed, and future king could be quizzed. I don't know why they are trying to pretend like there is something that will be done about this. They have a logical explanation for everything. Obviously, somebody is leaking against the future king, someone near and probably not so dear to him. But I do believe the calls are coming from inside the house. Somebody's leaking. Somebody has just gone through the mother of all PR stunts, pretending to be homeless, pretending to be a civil rights leader, pretending. And then suddenly we find ourselves with a heir to the throne that has bags of money. We shouldn't have even heard about this. Prince Charles' most trusted aides were obviously with him. How do we find out about something like this? Whatever exchange that has taken place, and mind you, I'm not trying to side with Charles. I'm just saying it's mighty suspicious that we even hear about something like this. And then for the person who leaked it, exactly what did you think would happen? What did you think was going to happen next? I don't understand the point of it. Okay, so the information is out there. It looks bad for Charles. And then what? This is like probably the most powerful person in the land, someone who has an incredible amount of influence over his mother, who is the sovereign. He is a regent in everything but name. So how do you hurt him? I don't understand. Because we're looking at this, then what are we looking away from? Is this the shiny object, and what are they hiding from us? That's what I would like to know. Exactly what are they hiding from us? Or or is there someone in the Republican movement who got a hold of this information and decided, let's see if we can't bring down the monarchy. Well, obviously this won't do it. It will chip away at their prestige, but there's too many people who still look upon them with, I guess, adoration, if you will. And I don't see how this hurt them. I said that yesterday and I stick by it. I don't see how this makes any difference. It is fun to talk about. I mean, you got that money grubbing Charles with those gigantic sausage fingers. I wonder if that's actually kosher for him to be shaking hands with those sausage fingers. Anyway, not kosher, but you know what I mean. Jackie K says, but Baron, if Charles go down before or during his reign, then it will be over for William too. I suggest it may be Republicans doing this, British Republicans, i.e., those who wished in monarchy. Well, I think I must have said that after you typed it, but yes, that's the only thing I can think of is that somehow this information was leaked to people in the Republican movement, and there you go. So I don't find it surprising that a sheik would have a bag of cash, given the tight control they have over their households in the Saudi royal family, or I'm sorry, is it Qatar? The Qatari royal family, given the amount of control they have over their households and the abundance of wealth from this oil rich nation, I think it only stands to reason that, why not use cash? What is it to them? If you're going to bank, who are you going to bank with? I don't know that there's a Lloyd's Bank or a Bank of Scotland branch in Qatari, and if it is, who uses it? Foreign nationals, expatriates, or whatever, expats. So yeah, it's all very curious, but I think it's just much to do about nothing. Let's see. Zig Al says maybe Boris' 150,000 pound treehouse for his 3-year-old. Oh yeah. Well, they say Boris has been spending like a drunken sailor since he's been around, and it seems as though he intends to stay, no matter how embarrassed he becomes. It seems as though he intends to stay prime minister for as long as he can. I mean, it's not unusual for someone to be prime minister for 10 years or more. Is that right? I think Margaret Thatcher had 10 years. Didn't Tony Blair have 10 years in office? So when it comes to the presidency of the United States, it's 4 and 4 and no more than 8. So, but I think with prime ministers, you can stay there as long as people will tolerate you. Thank you, Godchild, for the super sticker, and thank you for being a member, and thank you ever so much for watching Royal Sussex. And also, there is a super chat from Therese. Therese says the future of KP is allegedly like what is that, Saren Modar? He appears to want to destroy anyone in his path. He forget you reap what you sow. He's too arrogant to know the difference. That man is too arrogant to know the difference. If you I guess if you had to look at anyone in that family and try to identify arrogance, you could interchange William and Andrew. And then after that, let me see, Margaret is gone, so you can't pick on Princess Margaret anymore. But she was also pretty bad when it comes to just day-to-day relations with staff or people. Princess Anne could be a bit of a jerk. And we all know Rambolina with her bespoke military coat, the one that kind of sweeps the ground, that maxi coat that he wears. We all know that he is the height of arrogance, especially when they ask someone to help the queen who happens to be of color. And then he's like, can you just step back? Just step back. Oh my God, I'll never forget that. That was awkward. Awkward. Also, I wonder what he wears under those outfits. I don't even want to know. I mean, I look at him and I don't, the places I imagine him having piercings makes your blood boil or whatever. Ugh. Okay. But he just seems weird like that. Now that I have ruined your lunch. Okay. Godchild says, hello, everyone. I suspect this was leaked by W, which of course is William, out of revenge. Isn't Charles supposedly having small chats about Harry and Meghan, who were also seen coming out of Clarence's house during the giblet? Well, but people have said that William seems to menace and intimidate Charles, that he in some way, well, it's been implied that he bullies Charles. I don't know how true that is, but I could imagine that, given the way William has kind of crept all over Charles these past years. I mean, even physically challenging his father in a way that is frightening to look at, for someone who has grown up in the generation that I have. I wouldn't dream of treating my parents like that. But William, there's a couple of those videos that have kind of gone viral or whatever, where William seems to have I guess been heavy-handed with his own father. So I wouldn't doubt that okay, let me see there. There you go. And nudge, nudge to the back of the head. I mean, who does that? See that? And there was one where he walks in the room and just kind of takes his fist and jabs Princess Diana, who, and of course, in front of the cameras, Diana, sometimes she would contain herself. And then other times, I think she probably got with him in a way. Yeah. Could you imagine doing that to your parents? That looks awfully strange to me. That looks awfully strange to me. Yeah, I don't have the words for it. I don't have the words for it. So, anyway, let me take that away because that disgusts me. Anyway, thank you so much, Godchild, for your comment, and thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. Okay, Diana Hawkins says another line of investigation should include Andy, who was a regular Middle East visitor until sidelined. His, he's eager to get back into trading, so it serves him well to show incompetence. Oh, yes, yes, that's very true. I mean, if we were to list possible suspects, dun dun dun. Jeepers creepers, where'd you get those peepers? Jeepers creepers, where'd you get those eyes? Da 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 da. Jeepers creepers, where'd you get those eyes? Woo! Jeepers creepers, where'd you get those peepers? Oh man. If that doesn't look like somebody who just sat up at their own funeral. Oh, okay. So it's like he got home and he saw the Royal Protection Officers and thought, just for a split second, he thought that they were there for him instead of there to protect him. Sir, you're going to have to come with us, sir. Yes, we'd like to take your details, sir. Yeah, well, this is like the look he would have, entering the United States, wondering if the FBI is going to put some shackles on him. And I just remember that he's not likely to ever come back to the United States. You all do know that. He's not likely to come back because, at the very least, let me tell you guys something that you may not know if you are not an American. And even if you are an American, if you lie to the FBI, you know that's a felony, right? That's the easiest way to get an indictment, is to lie to the FBI. Now, that's not likely to ever happen to Peepers there, Mr. Peepers. But lying to the FBI, that is a felony. So if you guys are wondering how did so many people who worked in the Trump administration get felonies, it's because when the FBI asks you a question, they already know the answer. And so when you say something that is inconsistent with the timeline or any video or whatever written evidence, they just ask you the question and then they say, that's interesting. And then they'll slide a document across the table, something like a phone log or something. And they'll say, okay, so you say this happened at this point, but your cell phone was triangulated and pinged off of a tower at XYZ. Now, let's ask this again. Were you there? Jeepers, creepers, where'd you get those peepers? Jeepers, creepers, where'd you get those eyes? Why you tell those lies? I would be willing to pay good money to see him interviewed by the FBI if it is anything like this train wreck. I would just get popcorn. I would get myself a big drink, and I would just sit there and watch until I couldn't watch anymore, until they said, okay, no further questions. That would be amazing. So, to your point, Diane Hawkins, yes, that makes more sense than anything else that I could have thought of. Thank you so much for your comment, and thank you for watching and also being a member of Royal Sussex. Jeepers creepers, where'd you get those peepers? Oh man. All right, so let's go on here. Oh, there we go. We're going to change gears a bit. So, William is the new Karen. No offense to Karens of the world, but William is the new Karen. I don't have the video. I'm not sure that I could show it to you, so that's why I don't have it. As you can see, it says all rights reserved. I would even love to play the audio for you, but what's funny is that people are saying that this is probably for show, that it's made up or contrived in some type of way. I have no way of knowing whether or not that's true, but there are people who feel as though this thing that happened, and of course, this happened around winter, in the wintertime when people were still on lockdown. I think that was the winter of 2021. And this may or may not have been at Sandringham Estate. So it is very curious, and I'm not sure exactly what happened in this situation, but there's many theories. Some, of course, are just like the thing with pretending to sell papers for the homeless. It was all made up. It's not real. This is just a bunch of smoke and mirrors. Laurie Josette says, Baron, look into the Panama Papers, an investigation led by investigative journalists and more than 100 media partners into offshore accounts by pop stars, politicians, and others. Well, I do know the Queen pops up in the Panama Papers. I know there's a lot of famous people that are involved with that, but honestly, I haven't even looked into that probably since it first came out. But yeah, it's a lot of wealth being concealed uh, with these offshore companies and accounts and such. So yeah, very interesting. And that the Queen, her, I think it's the Duchy of Lancaster portfolio pops up in there, right? Because the Duchy of Lancaster, that includes properties in London and, of course, in the estate of Lancaster. So the Duchy of Lancaster, just like the Duchy of Cornwall, I believe, is like a multinational corporation for the sovereign, and of course, the Duchy of Cornwall for the Prince of Wales, so that they will never go broke, never go hungry while they are reigning or waiting to reign. So, those things that happened so many years ago, that was established so many years ago, even today, um, they still bring in a lot of money. It was like a compromise with the crown. You let me be rich, and I'll just take a portion of what is available, and you all don't drive me off the throne or behead me, and everybody go home and I'm okay. So I think that's the whole point of those duchies, is just to feed money. So William eventually will inherit the Duchy of Cornwall, and then Charles will inherit the Duchy of Lancaster. So I don't think that it's possible that Charles could just like keep the Cornwall Duchy and not give it to William. I think that is like already decided that that is for the Prince of Wales. However, what's interesting is, what if Charles does not invest William as Prince of Wales? What if Charles, and maybe that's where the bad blood is, right? I mean, it is the sovereign's call as to whether or not William will become the Prince of Wales. I don't think that that's compulsory. I think that's something that the sovereign decides. It's in the Queen's gift to award people certain things. And then, of course, when it comes to Charles, it will be within his gift to decide who gets a chance to live in the grace and favor residence, who receives titles. Like, for instance, since we're on the topic, let's go back to Rambolina. it was said that the reason why um, Edward would not accept a dukedom, which is something that the sons of a sovereign receive upon marriage, they become dukes. And of course, that even goes for the grandkids. So that's how you got the Duke of Sussex. That is how you got the Duke of Cambridge. And then, of course, it's a very curious situation with Prince Edward, who is not a duke. He is the Earl of Wessex. How come he's not a duke? Well, they said he turned it down because he was hoping, he was so sure that when Philip died, he could become the Duke of Edinburgh. Well, even though it is within the Queen's gift, I'm sorry, but that was the nearest photo. Even though it is within the Queen's gift to decide, yes, you are hereby the Duke of Edinburgh, for whatever reason, she decided that her non binary son, the one that most people don't even know exists, but she does have 4 kids, believe it or not, um, he didn't get a dukedom. They said he turned it down because he was hoping to be the Duke of Edinburgh. And so, as I said, Charles appears to be a regent in everything but name only. And of course, a regent is someone who has the power of the monarchy on behalf of the monarch, but they are not yet a monarch because the monarch is still alive and they're still, adding whatever little special tonic to her tea to keep her happy and amused. Even though they have her riding around in a Range Rover with no seatbelt, um, which is alarming to me because she might, teeter over from that big high seat she's in and smush her lipstick on the dashboard. I'd hate to see her smush her lipstick or break her glasses, but oh man, if anybody would have told me a year ago that 1,000 people would be on Royal Sussex listening to me ramble on about the Queen's lipstick and glasses getting smashed on the dashboard, I wouldn't have believed it. But I wouldn't have believed it. But some 7 million views later, here we are. So not to stray too far from that. Thank you for your comment, Lori and Josette. And that is very interesting. And you know what? I believe I shall take a second look at those Panama Papers because somehow you brought up Panama Papers, and it took me all the way to the Queen rocking forward in that Range Rover because she's not wearing a seatbelt and getting her lipstick smushed on the dashboard and those glasses broken. So I think I should probably I think for everyone's sake, I should probably move on. So thank you for your comment. And if there's anyone from the Royal Protection Office, please put a seatbelt on the Queen because this keeps me up at night. I just keep thinking of a sudden stop, and then all of a sudden her lipstick gets smushed all over that dashboard, and you know, and then somebody's going to be in real trouble. So that is the answer about the Panama Papers, the only way that I know how. I hope that answered your question. Please restrain Her Majesty the Queen. and I will take a look at those Panama Papers. Oh man. All right. So back to Karen. So this happened, and he was irate. Apparently, a reporter found himself on a very rural road. I would love to hear Barbara Walters say that. A reporter found himself on a rural road. A reporter found himself on a rural road on the Sandingham estate. Oh, I gotta stop. Okay, let me get serious now. Oh, thank you, Elaine Parker. Thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. And happy Monday to you. So, where was I? A reporter was on a rural road. And anyway, let me stop. Okay, so the reporter was on a rural road and he ran into Karen. Karen was out biking. Now, I believe that the children were with a group of people that were out riding, because William said very clearly toward the end of this, which is actually not the entire video. This entire ordeal went on for about 30 minutes or better, and we've only seen a portion of it. And William was like, "You were near our house." And then you hear somebody mumbling in the background. It is almost unintelligible, but there is a woman's voice clearly mumbling in the background. And she was trying to say something. I had to listen to it 10 times. I don't know what she said, but she clearly mumbled something, but it was barely audible and almost unintelligible. So I could only imagine that that woman was the Duchess of Cambridge. But again, the audio was not ideal, but somebody mumbled something about we saw you near the house, or and of course, instantly that made me recall another situation that okay.
People who aren't necessarily reaching out, who are struggling, who perhaps don't feel they can reach out, or the fact that maybe they haven't realized that addictive behaviors have sort of established.
Have you ever had a dreams that you want him to do you so much you could do anything? Have you ever had a dreams that you want him to do you so much you could do anything?
So I believe at that point, William probably looked over to her with disgust, like, please don't help. But again, the voice was off the camera and it was barely audible, so I'm not sure who it was. Okay. That being said, this incident probably went on for about a half hour. And given the fact that there was that voice in the distance, well, you could imagine what about 25 minutes. You could imagine that about 25 minutes was, that voice trying to ask the guy,
You want him to do you so much you could do anything?
you know what I mean? So there was the little portion we saw with William, but the unseen portion of the tape was probably
that you had you could you do you want you could do so you want him to do you so much you could do anything.
so that is probably there was William's part of this incident, and then there was the other part that was not seen on camera and probably edited to, for the sake of time, they had to edit it down. But they said that there was more to come. So I'll be interested to know how much of that is, this.
Do you want you could do.
Happy Monday, everyone. Okay, so, and then William says, "You're disgusting." And at this point, when he was riding away, he said, he said something about, don't you all ever learn? And he even, when he tried to, let me go back here. When he tried to call in, it was as though he couldn't get through. He seemed to be, it seemed real to me. This does not seem like it was made up. It seemed very real. Now, did someone, for the sake of revenge, did someone decide that if you're going to leak on me, did someone decide if you're going to leak stuff about me, maybe I will leak stuff about you? Ooh, that would add a whole new dimension. Now, let's just assume that's not the case, that someone who leaked about bags of money could have possibly have leaked information about the whole bicycle incident. We don't know how either one of these stories made it out. We don't know if there was any phone calls coming from inside the house. We don't know. There's a great unknown. Now, there could be, again, some Republican somewhere, not an American Republican, but a British Republican who's interested in seeing the royal family, you know, twist and turn down the drain pipe of the world, uh, uh, condemned to the ash heap of history. Maybe they're the ones who spoke about bags of money and, of course, about this bicycle incident. And if you guys are wondering why this is so important, why is this at all relevant? Well, during the lockdown, look at how much prestige was lost by Boris Johnson because they partied at number 10 when people couldn't even go to see their elderly parents, when people couldn't visit their grandchildren, when people were prevented from being married, when only 2 people, 3, 4 people could attend a funeral. And then you got the future out there gallivanting across the countryside with his family. I believe there was upwards of 9 people in the group, while other people were told to stay home. This was during the period of lockdown. So I don't know exactly at what period. I want to say this had to have been the around Christmas of 2020, perhaps. But however this happened, it's an absolute scandal. I don't know if it's going to have any legs. I don't know if it's going to hurt them. But for one thing's for sure, I can't wait to hear or see that person off the camera who was trying to chime in with her account. That person, I can't wait to see what she had to say about it. MOC, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. Happy Monday to you. So yeah, watch this space because there's definitely going to be more about this. And at the end of the video, they promise that there's more to come. It's just very curious. I mean, just without warning, I look at the Twitter and this is all over the place. Lynn says focusing on those unroyal vipers can shorten one's life, or one may get whiplash from all the royal shenanigans. It is very odd, Lynn. Very odd. All of a sudden, I'm just like, who leaked this? Uncle Incandescent with rage rages exactly how we imagine him to rage. Josie Adesoy says that. Thank you so much for your comment. What a beautiful family you have. I'm looking at the profile picture. What an absolutely beautiful family. I love that. That is like, that's a gorgeous picture. I love that. That's like my new favorite thing today. Thank you for sharing that. Okay. Okay, here it says Irish and James. Iris, not Irish, but Iris and James. I have gingers and natural golden browns in my African American family. Throughout many generations, my nephew was asked how a chocolate boy could is that have his type of hair. He said genetics. Well, I have intimate knowledge and experience with that myself. Within my own family, freckles and red hair. So, yeah, it happens. And as I told you guys, when I did my DNA, there's like, I think it's 9% of the, of British, various, Celtic blood, I guess, and or British or English blood. So, yeah, that could very easily happen in families, especially for African Americans. My DNA admixture, or whatever they call it, is pretty typical for an African American. I've actually had two of them done, and both results were almost identical. It's just that the more recent DNA tests are way more precise than the ones you may have done 5 or 10 years ago. So they get better and more detailed every time. But if you haven't taken one because you don't trust it, don't do it. Don't do it. But if you do decide to do it, but it's a if any of your relatives have taken one, I suggest you stay out of trouble. They won't have to look too far to find you. And when I say they, I do mean the people. They wouldn't have to look too far to find you. But if you're paranoid about that, I recommend you just don't do it. Okay. But thank you for that comment, Iris and James. That is very interesting. Okay, so at some point I'm going to share a video with you guys. How long have I been on? An hour and 3 minutes, not bad. There's 1,084 people. Please make sure you hit that like button. Please subscribe if you have not subscribed already. And remember, this is not a Mark Goodson or a Bill Totson production. No animals were maimed or injured throughout this live stream. And any nudity and violence was definitely unexpected and not intentional at all. So, and nobody is going to receive a year's supply of turtle wax. I like to do that every so often just to make sure you guys are paying attention. That was what they used to say after the game shows. This has been a Mark Goodson and Bill Totson production. Guests receive a year's supply of turtle wax. What do you do with a year's supply of turtle wax? I never understood. How do they know that's going to last you for a year? Or like if you go through that first container, do you like call and ask for the next? I mean, how do you get a year's supply of turtle wax? Oh well. Anyway, just in fun, you guys. But you baby boomers may remember that from the old game shows that used to come on television in the morning times, like The Price is Right, Let's Make a Deal. Oh, wax your entire body? Yeah, now see, if I try to cover up all of this, I could definitely go through a couple of years supply of turtle wax. Okay. All right. So, people born into money are more sensitive to the plight of poor, study claims. This is such BS and propaganda. And look where it comes from. Look at the source of this, the Daily Mail. So, again, let me say this. It seems like someone is jockeying for position. Now, I had a theory a long time ago, if you all remember, and I'm talking about around the summer of last year. I said at the time that if Charles lives to be as old as his father, William could possibly have to wait another, at the time, well, it wasn't so long ago, but another 25 years to be king. Well, he's 40 now. That would mean that he would be like, let's say 65. Now, if Charles lives to be 100, then William will have to wait that much longer to be king. Who wants to do that? But there is someone who would rather that she can see her daughter crowned queen consort sooner rather than later. And that, of course, is the air hostess, the former employee of British Airways. If anybody would want to see mediocre Middleton sitting beside her husband on the throne, it would have to be the future Queen Mother. I know, she's not entitled to be called Queen Mother. I promise you, after that whole thing with the Royal Carol, get it? The Royal Carol. See how they associate that name with the air hostess, the Royal Carol. After that incident, if that doesn't tell you where this is going, if they could make people accept this rather pious, pure woman as the future queen consort, it is not too hard to believe that somehow that same propaganda rag that is trying to make this seem like a very honest days of volunteering, they're going to be the same ones who push that narrative. Oh, she's really just like the Queen Mother. She's always been so close to William and yada, 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 such and such and such and such. Don't doubt it's possible. And this is the person who is probably most likely to have this huge emotional benefit from seeing Charles go down in flames, figuratively speaking, of course. And that, of course, is Carol Middleton, the Royal Carol. That's the one who would benefit more than anybody else. The woman who has probably already selected the gown that she's going to wear to her daughter's coronation. It sounds so far fetched, but I said it last year. Everybody said, oh, no, they won't call her Queen Mother. Oh, no, Charles is not going to step down. Well, maybe he won't have to step down. Maybe there's another way of getting him out of there. But whatever it is, I believe that the air hostess is going to recoup some of that money that she has spent trying to put her mediocre daughter on that throne. She'll probably pull out that old beverage cart from British Airways that she's saving in her garage over there in Buckleberry. She's going to pull that little beverage cart out and she's going to start selling drinks right there at the Westminster Abbey during the coronation. Here, love, get a drink? Here, love, fancy something to drink? Oi, here, love, fancy a drink? I'm telling you, that little opportunist right there, she is going to recoup her losses. Party favor business ain't what it used to be, but she has to recoup her losses somehow. So putting that mediocre Middleton, a daughter of hers, on the throne next to an even more mediocre Prince William, that's payment in full. So that's just the way I see it in my little twisted mind. I'm sure that recollections may vary, as they say in Buckingham Palace, but there is something going on. This propaganda campaign of William's. I thought it was just about his birthday, but it seems to be more to it than just his birthday. There's something way bigger going on, and maybe the house, the Kensington Palace and Clarence House, maybe there's some type of little war going on. Maybe there's a war. I don't know. Hello, Ivy here. Ivy from Sussex Global UK says it also means that Egghead wouldn't have to pretend working and searching for projects for the next 25 years. Egg wants the title, but do nothing for it. When he, if he becomes king, he can play diplomat. Exactly. He just really wants to go around and look important, but do any type of work, not so much. But William is going to inherit quite a few things. But again, as I said before, I don't know that Charles would absolutely positively have to invest William as the Prince of Wales. You can be king without having been Prince of Wales first. It's not mandatory. I don't think Edward, what was it, Edward the Eighth? Or was it George the Eighth? I don't think he was invested as Prince of Wales. So you don't have to. Or was he? Was he the Prince of Wales? It was one of them were not the Prince of Wales. Can't remember which one, but it's not mandatory. That's like, for instance, if, let's say, the worst happens, Charles and the Queen were to go in the same week, he would ascend the throne without ever being the Prince of Wales and without this ever being the Princess of Wales. It wouldn't matter. So I don't know that it's any guarantee that he'll get that title. I mean, after all, Charles held out on Edwina and wouldn't make Rambolina the Duke of Edinburgh. So Charles has a way of doing things the way he wants to do it. And maybe the two houses are at war. Maybe they're at war. An undeclared battle has taken place, and we're just going to keep seeing things pop up in the media for the next few days. Maybe they'll call a truce for now, or maybe somebody go over there and just keep hitting his father on the back of the head. I don't know. It is pretty weird. Prince Charles won't last. He already looks halfway to the sixth. What was that? Evangelist Denise Ryson. Thank you so much for that. And Anastasia Isabella, I don't think Carol was ever an air hostess. Well, she worked for British Airways. I know that. And I think she had a job in the office, but it wouldn't be shady if I just said, oh, I think she had an administrative position. Isn't it more fun for me to say the air hostess? I don't know. I did see some information about that one time, but she did work for British Airways. I don't know what capacity, but she did work for British Airways. Hello, Yvonne Clark. Yvonne says he is not ready after opening of Parliament. How he looked like, what am I doing here on his face? Yeah, that was play acting. Charles was doing one of his best performances since he married the Princess Diana. That was one of his best dramatic performances, was sitting there looking at the crown like he had a gallstone in need of removal or something. Ivy says Boris also tried to get his wife Carrie a job on the sly with Egg's Earth Project. All of them are snakes. Thank you so much for that. But yes, Boris Johnson, it was reported, was trying to get some really cushy jobs for his they are married now, his wife Carrie. And anyway, Boris Johnson is just like one scandal after the next. And I hope that we are going to see the last of him soon, that he'll, that they'll what is it, the vote of no confidence? They'll get him out of there. I just hope he's not replaced with something worse. Okay, Joyce Voss says, I have not seen it. Charles is not going to do anything to upset the UK media. The media wants Willie, and to not make Willie Prince of Wales would upset a lot of people. Yeah, but what could they do? What could they do? I mean, if you're if you have received your third bag of cash and nothing happens, if you sold your access for honors and nothing happens, well, it's really in his gift. I mean, look at how long poor Edward has been waiting. Now, I know Edward's not in such a prestigious position like Willie, but this guy reportedly has been waiting to be the Duke of Edinburgh, and the title just lingers. So I wouldn't put it past Charles. Charles may find some very good, and plus, let me tell you something about that investiture to Prince of Wales. Number one, the majority of people in Wales do not want Willie to be the Prince of Wales. That is going to cause embarrassment for him. Number two, it is a big financial event for everyone to have this ceremony. And when they do invest him as the Prince of Wales, I guarantee you it's not going to look anything like the one that Charles had back in the 60s when they were trying to uphold the monarchy. I think it's going to be a relatively quiet, dignified ceremony, almost like the Order of the Garter. I don't think they want to do anything like the Jubilee, which is what they did for Prince Charles when he got the Prince of Wales investiture. That would be like a gross spending of public money, and it would be embarrassing. And then too, when Charles tries to give him the investiture, William may turn around and just start hitting him on the back of his head. Would you invest him? I wouldn't. Yeah, there's some bad blood between the two of them. You notice you rarely ever see them together. You rarely see them actually talking to each other. They're not in strong agreement right now. There's something to that, and reports are they've never really been that close. They have never ever been that close. Strange, very very strange. So let's move on. Camilla did warn people about William having a temper. I can only imagine what vile things he said to Harry about Meghan or to her face. Well, that's what Angelina Taylor said on Twitter today. And there you can see an old story from 2020, October of 2020. The boy got a temper, Camilla told friends, that Prince William would shout and Prince Charles would meekly submit new book claims. Now, that article was written by, take a look, Robert Lacey. That was written by Robert Lacey in October of 2020. So this whole idea that he's incandescent with rage, that his temper has been unchecked, has been going on for a long time. So when I say that I believe that there is some kind of bad blood between father and son, and that the two houses may be leaking information against one another, tell me how that's impossible. I don't know that that's impossible. It's very strange. It is very strange. And so, again, I think if you circle around, it's going to take you right back to a very impatient air hostess who is not going away. Where is she at? Right there, the air hostess. If you were in her position and she's in her mid to late 60s right now, would you want to take a chance on having spent all that time, all that money trying to get people to believe that your daughter is bright and has intellectual curiosity, and is a perfect fit for the future queen consort, would you want to spend all that money and then, let's say, come down with some kind of illness and you just couldn't enjoy the jubilee? Or let's assume that she'll be there at all. I mean, people in the royal family live to be 100 all the time. That doesn't necessarily mean that that's her story or anybody else that is going. So maybe she'll be there, maybe she won't, but she has to wonder to herself, am I going to live to see my daughter become the queen consort? Do I want to take that chance? Wouldn't it just be better for everybody involved if Charles becomes king sooner rather than later? Think about it. There's a lot of people who want to see the Cambridges on that throne. There's a lot of people who are still angry with Camilla. There's a lot of people who is angry with Charles and Camilla. And then there are some people who just simply have it in for Charles. But when you bring all those together, that that makes for some real cloak and dagger, very Game of Thrones type of behavior in the background. So it's hard to say. I wouldn't put it past any of them. Okay, moving on. What in the heck was this, and why did I save that? The video is a clip from an interaction with Prince William, January 2021. Okay, January 2021. So I think I was right about that. During the lockdown. I can't say the C word. 2 weeks before this video, Prince William, Kate Middleton, and their 3 children ran into Prince Edward, Sophie, Countess of Wessex, and their 2 children, and the group of the 9 walked an outdoor path together at Sandringham Light Trail. Norfolk was under the Tier 2 order, imitating outdoor gatherings. Limiting is very small. Oh, you know what? I can make that bigger again. I couldn't see for the corner up there. Limiting. Okay, where the heck is that? Outdoor gatherings to 6 people, including children. They were clearly breaking the pandemic rules, in my opinion, because there was 9 of them from 2 separate households. They were obviously all having a fun evening out. You could tell that the royal youngsters were having a great time. An onlooker told the Mail, but I couldn't help thinking that it was one of those rules for them and another rule for the rest of us. It was really quite blatant. The road that this interaction was on leads to Sandringham House, and it was still occupied by another family of royals. And shockingly, between when the photo of their bike ride was taken and the police attending there was a gap of 30 minutes. Was the future king and his family unprotected? Well, that's the thing, is they said that there was a half-hour gap between William making his incandescent with rage phone call saying there's a photographer here and the actual point in time that the police arrived. Also, they said that there will be another video that is coming soon. So we have to wait until, I don't even know where the video came from. That's the thing. I don't even know where the video came from. It's just all of a sudden, yesterday, it was everywhere. Hello, Ivy here. The egg is mentally unfit to be king of his own room, let alone the nation. 1,000 years of UK monarchies had not been king to any relative who is mentally ill. Has not been kind to any relative who is mentally ill or physically impaired in their eyes. Very true, Ivy. Any type of malady whatsoever is frowned upon by the royals because, of course, they are the ones who subscribe to that, breeding horses, breeding dogs, and breeding people, which is why they marry their cousins, because they think that their cousins are more worthy and thus will make a more sustainable monarchy. But I'm going to leave that alone. Because any remarks that I say about the Duke of Kent and comparing, well, anyway. But y'all seen them, right? Okay. Let's see. RBDG Creative Podcast says it's quite possible Charles' camp did it to Diana and Diana's camp did it to Charles. If you're referring to the leaking and all that kind of stuff, yes, that is very possible. Actually, I would dare say quite likely. Thank you so much for your super chat, and thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. All right. Oh, wow. I'm all the way down at the very last comment, I think. So moving right along. I'm not sure what to make of this. Do not buy this book. Robson is working with Meghan Markle's mouthpiece, Omid Scobie, to discredit members of the royal family. Boycott Robeson. Now, this is from a deranger who obviously has it in for Jobson because they feel as though Jobson has somehow collaborated with Omid Scobie. They're both royal reporters. They both are working their jobs, and I don't know what one has to do with the other. Omid Scobie has contacts within the royal rotor, as well he should. He is a royal reporter. But that does not mean that there's any collaboration, especially when it comes to William at 40, The Making of a Modern Monarch by Robert Jobson. Robert Jobson seems to be more in favor of Charles, and Robert Jobson has slammed William in the past. So I'm wondering if the reason why they're so upset is because they assume that Robert Jobson is about to do a hatchet job on William, and that maybe he sought some advice or collaboration from Omid Scobie. I don't know. I don't know what their point is about that. But anyway, they seem to be a bit agitated by the fact that Omid Scobie and Robert Jobson are standing next to each other. As a matter of fact, I will just say that poor Omid has been caught up into Robert Jobson's gravitation. How long did y'all think I was going to sound serious? Uh, oh man, that was shady. But I do think that it is more likely that poor Omen Scobie was caught up in he was caught up in Robert Jobson's gravitational pull, kind of like the rings of Saturn. I'm sorry, y'all. But yeah, kind of like the rings of Saturn. He so so okay. Let me. I got work to do. But yeah, kind of like the rings. Or maybe they're on their way to a fancy dress party and they're pretending to be Laurel and Hardy. I don't know. I'm oh man. Okay. Yeah, perhaps they're on their way to a fancy dress party and they're pretending to be Laurel and Hardy or something. Abbott and Costello. I don't know, but whatever the case is, um, what was I talking about? Oh yeah. I was talking about the fact that you know what? Never mind. Let's just move on. Uh, oh man. So yes, let's have a bit of sobriety and a sober thought here and there. Thank you, Ivy, for snapping me out of this. Ivy says the British royal family. Okay. I had to get that out of my system. The British royal family thinks that they are perfect. They hide any relatives who are perceived to be less than perfect. They are not a nice family at all. That is absolutely true. Like those two cousins or whatever that they had locked in the institution for years, when it should have been a couple of them that were on the outside of the institution that should have been locked up. That is very true. But yeah, they don't they like to. And wasn't there one the kid that had cerebral palsy, the one that they locked in an institution, and they anybody there was like only the occasional visit from the royal family, and everyone in this community knew that this kid, I believe he was the heir to the throne. And it was like one day he's in the family portrait, and then next thing you know, there is no mention and no record of him publicly henceforward. And then he was just buried. There was like that is amazing how they used to do those things. That is absolutely breathtaking. So anyway, I got that out my system. And thank you so much for your comment, Ivy. Aaron Max says, I always thought the Cambridges wanted to bypass Charles in an effort to prevent Harry's children from receiving their titles. Can't have mixed race royals now, can we? Well, you know what, Aaron, that would be a lot to go through just for that reason. Um, I'm sure William doesn't uh, care for the children to have the titles. He doesn't care for the Duchess of Sussex. But I think primarily their focus would be hurry up and put myself and my wife on the throne. I think that's all there is to it. I don't think they really care that much about the Sussexes where that's concerned, more than they just simply want Charles out of the way so that William can have the keys to the kingdom. And he may not even, the one person who probably wants it more than anybody else for the Cambridges, I'm going to go back there again. This person, she probably wants it more than anybody else. There's nobody more invested in getting on that throne than she is. I don't think William is as excited as people might imagine for the pomp and ceremony and everything. He just wants to be important. Um, Maybe he just wants access to all of the power. But in terms of like the actual day to day job, he's not interested in that. If he's not interested in doing work now, he certainly is not going to have a change of heart once he becomes king. I mean, look at the work he's done on the Commonwealth. He lost half of it. By the time they were done with that tour, it was like an awakening amongst the 54 Commonwealth nations. It was like an awakening. All of a sudden, everybody was talking about reparations and everybody was talking about leaving the Commonwealth or removing the Queen as head of state. All of that from one visit. If he can do that in one visit to the Commonwealth, what kind of king do you think he'll make? Oh, okay. So that was it for my slides. All right. So I have a video for you guys that I was working on. And this might, I don't know, put a little smile on your face. It's nothing compared to the, it's not. It's nothing compared to the gravitational pull of Robert Jobson. Oh man. Okay, stop, guys. Stop encouraging me. I got work to do, and you all are sending me mental signals, sending me some kind of mental telepathy to cause me to think about that gravitational pull of Robert. I know. It's like the rings of Saturn, isn't it? And poor Omid just can't escape. I mean, he wants to he wants to do his job, but he didn't expect he'd get that close to him. But just like the rings of Saturn, he's just stuck there. And Robert Jobson won't release him from his grip. Okay. All right, you guys. That was fun, but let me get to the video. Ooh, I'm sitting up here with tears in my eyes. Okay, now the video. Let's see. Is that okay? Yeah, there we are. And adjust your sound.
Is she even out yet?
She's not even out yet.
There she is, there she is, there she is. Oh, wow.
Oh, she's not stopping. No.
She's not even waving. Oh, no, she is.
Who's that woman in the white?
No idea, but look. Is that the president? Oh, she's there.
Yeah,
Why is she wearing black? It's harder to spot her in black.
Yeah.
I literally thought she was security.
That's all.
Okay, that was it. I just wanted to share that with you. That was on Twitter, and I just added a little bit of, that flair that I do with my videos. But one more time.
Is she even out yet?
She's not even out yet.
There she is, there she is, there she is. Oh, wow.
Oh, she's not stopping. No.
She's not even waving. Oh, no, she is.
Who's that woman in the white?
No idea, but look. Is that the president? Oh, she's there.
Yeah,
why is she wearing black? It's harder to spot her in black.
Yeah.
I literally thought she was security.
That's all.
There we go. Just wanted it to play without the sound for a second there. Thank you, Sean, for the super chat. Maybe that's where the rest of the royal family disappeared to, somewhere in Robert's atmosphere. There is a lot of atmosphere. And remember, where there's atmospheric bodies, there are atmospheric gases. And trust me, when I look at Robert Jobson, all I can think about is atmospheric gas. Methane. What else? Give me another one. But yeah, when I think of Robert Jobson, I think of atmospheric gases. Thank you, Georgia Walker, for the super sticker. And thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. Thank you for being a member. And yes, I know I had my mic off for a second. You guys caught me. I was hoping that I was hoping that nobody noticed. Everybody noticed. Look at that. You guys are ratting me out again. Thanks. Yeah, you guys have exposed me for having forgotten to turn the mic back on. But yeah, so as I was saying, one of the trolls said, "Oh, you guys are always posting old videos of the Sussexes." So we love the Sussexes, and we want to celebrate how well loved they are, how well respected they are around the world. And so, yeah, taking an old video and reminding people how things could have been if they were not expelled, if they were not bullied and chased out of the country by Harry's own brother, by the institution that Harry was born into. Had that not happened, then of course the alleged abuse from Kensington Palace, if it wasn't for that, then yes, this is what would have been. And the fact that we don't want people to forget that not only was she thriving, um, or should I say, excelling at the job of being a princess of the realm, of being Duchess of Sussex, that there was this massive outpouring of love, not only for Harry, who's always received a certain amount of love from people in the country, but for the Duchess of Sussex. They want us to forget about that. They want us to, or should I say, they want to. Let me show you this. Let me show you this. This is what happened when she left the London University. I mean, there were thousands of people out there, thousands of people waiting to get a glimpse of the Duchess of Sussex. They want us to forget this happened. They need us to forget that this happened. They want us to just pretend as though there was none of this. None of this happened. That not on my watch. Not on my watch. Oh, Jackie, that is beautiful. Love is all that matters. Period. Thank you, Jackie. That is absolutely beautiful. Thank you so much for that comment. Oh no, Church is feeling unwell. I'm sorry to hear that. Oh God. Oh, is this? You know, when I'm working, nobody ever calls me except for the Let me see. Hello, Ivy here. Hello, Ivy here. Hello? Hello, Ivy here. Hello? Hello, spam caller? Hello, spam caller. Ivy here. Now they don't have so much to say. See what I mean? See what I mean? Now they don't want to talk. Yeah, well. Yeah, now they don't want to talk. Now, before they had so much to say, now they don't want to talk. They hung up. They were like, click. Oh, well, next time. Oh, man. Anyway, yeah, so we're not going to thank you, Ivy. We're not going to let them forget the Sussex's contribution, although it may have been a short period of time, and no, it didn't end well because some very jealous people went into a panic because of their popularity. Um, Not going to happen. We are going to remind people. And even now, of course, even now, they are still the most popular royals. So some of the comments and such that I get from the derangers in the comment section, most of which are lifted by the moderators, and then I have to go back and decide whether or not this person is banned from the channel. But I do have a chance to see them after the moderators block them. Then there's a second block process, and then they're gone. They either start a new channel or don't. And you know what? Not just the moderators, but there was a few times when there were people who made these weird comments, and some of the other squaddies were like, that account is only a month old, and one time the account was only an hour old. Somebody went through all that trouble to establish an account just so that they could go on Royal Sussex and mess with us. Girl, bye. Hello, Gloria. Let me see. We love our King of Shade, Baron. Thank you so much. And thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. Yes, Church Nelly is under the weather. I'm so sorry to hear that. I only just found out. Oh man. Oh well, there's another moderator who's under the weather, but she didn't say it publicly, so I'm not going to say it either. But but anyway, one of the other moderators is under the weather, and since she didn't say it publicly, I won't say it for it. But so that's really too bad. I'm sorry to hear that. Oh, by the way, you guys, let me give you an update about my cousin. My cousin is home from the hospital. He had heart surgery, and he is doing very well. He's moving around as best he can. He has not started the therapy, the physical therapy yet. They want him to just heal, that is. But it was a very long surgery, 8 hours, and they had to repair some stuff, and so he's still on the mend. But so Thursday, I'm gonna go and see him. So I may start late Thursday or early Thursday. I haven't decided yet, but I'll let you guys know the night before. So yeah, that is still happening. But whatever the case is, I'm just so glad that he's home safe. I'm glad that he's feeling better, and not as 100%, of course, obviously, but he was much worse before the surgery. But at least we know what it is. It's been treated. He's still going through treatment, and I hope he gets better soon. So that is interesting. And what can I say? As we get older, whether it's ourselves or other people in our family, there's things that happen health wise, and we just have to be vigilant for each other. So thank you, and thanks for the prayers, and let's send all of our positive prayers and energy to Church Nelly and the unnamed moderator who is also feeling unwell today. And okay, all right, that's it then. I am going to send out some love to our faves, and that, of course, is our queen of everything, Queen Doria. And of course, our Queen of Hearts, Princess Diana. who I hope is the very last Princess of Wales, officially Princess of Wales. I hope that she's the last one. I hope they don't use that title for anyone else. I think that title should be put away and just never used again because anyone who has that title has some very large shoes to fill, and there's been a very large shadow that has been cast because of the association with Princess Diana. Sorry, but that's just the way it goes. Okay. So aside from that, I guess someone is out there wondering, who the heck is Ivy? It'd be funny if that was actually for me and not just the spam call, but whatever. But yeah, so I'm through. I am going to look for a last comment and then I'm going to play Ginger Avenger. Again, thank you for the 7 million views. That is that far exceeds anything that I could have ever predicted for this channel, but I'll take it. Now, if I just had 7 million subscribers, which by the way, you guys, I don't know if you all know this, but by this time next week, Royal Sussex may have 16,000 subscribers. The amount of subscribers has jumped again, which is weird because usually you only get a lot of subscribers when there is a big Sussex event, right? Like the Jubilee or something, the Invictus games. But for some reason, these subscribers are just pouring in. I am just shocked by that, but I'm very glad for it. And thank you so much for subscribing, everyone who has subscribed. And if you have not subscribed, please tell me, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? Don't you want to see me hem and haw and talking to a muted microphone? Don't you want to make sure you don't miss that? Don't you want to hear me like munching on a delicious Keebler pecan sandy with real vanilla from Madagascar? Who doesn't want that? Everybody wants that. So if you're not a subscriber, please do. And please support all of these platforms that support our faves. So at this point, let me see how many. Okay, just 90 subscribers, and then we'll have 16,000. So that'd be really cool. And yeah, so that's it. That's it. Thank you. Oh, I know what else I was looking for. Okay, yep, that's it. Okay, so last word of the day. Let me see. Ivy says, if you saw how many people I block most days on Sussex Global UK, most are new accounts. Really? I didn't think you would get a lot of the Rangers, but I think they just look for us. They just look, they dig deep. And the reason I don't get as many is because of the fact that I've probably blocked, I don't know how many hundred. It may be upwards of 800 by now, but I have blocked a lot of people. But yeah, that's the best way to deal with them. And you know what? I have to tell you, if anybody thinks that blocking the derangers is going to limit the growth of your channel, take a look at that. 7 million views. Derangers block people. They still watch. They hate watch, but they still watch. So doesn't matter. When the derangers get angry, they go on the warpath and they start looking for anything that is favorable to the Sussexes and attack. So they don't want the truth out. That's all it is. Okay. Okay, let me see here. Our unintended consequences of... Oh, you know what? I didn't think about that. But yeah, that is interesting. Rootin' Tootin' Dan Wooten may have done that for me. Oh, very great observation there. I didn't think about that, but yeah, that may have been courtesy of Dan Wooten with the so-called Sussex squad. Or maybe it was because TMJ Jr., TMJ, was going through his father's stuff, and he oh man, I'm not gonna start. Yes, I will. I'm not. Yeah, I will.
Who refer to themselves as the Sussex squad.
So I come to my dad's house and start going through it, and I look.
So I go to my dad's house and I started going through it. The unspecified going through it.
Who refer to themselves as the Sussex squad.
So I come to my dad's house and start going through it, and I look on YouTube, and my God, I see the Sussex squad and the Royal Sussex page on YouTube and the things they post, and that's where I found that disgusting video making fun of my father just because he's going to the Jubilee. I mean, and if you look on the Royal Sussex page on YouTube, you're going to see exactly whose it is. It's definitely Meghan Markle. And if it's not her personally, she's definitely paying somebody to do it.
Oh, man. Well, I didn't think there was any resemblance between myself and the Duchess of Sussex. But then again, I can wear a mean pencil skirt when I want to. So, yeah. Yeah. If you guys have seen me in a pencil skirt, you would confuse me for Meghan Markle any day of the week. So, yeah, he may be onto something. But whatever happens, if for some reason I watch a spotty video and I take ill, please do not let my kids come over here and go through my stuff. Cat Harlem says, Baron, I agree. No one should use the title Princess of Wales. However, I think Mumbles is dying to have that title. She'll finally have something in common with Diana. Yeah. I think that she'll get it, and she'll probably fumble and mumble over her words even more because, oh my goodness, that I just could not imagine this whole thing about her filling Diana's shoes. And people, you notice it's rare that they try to say that she's anything like Diana. It's very rare because she's nothing like Diana, and she never will be. Even as shy as Diana was, she had more charisma and more personality. She wasn't running around grinning like a hyena and carrying on like some kind of I don't even want to say the word, but she just didn't do that. She was well, of course, she was born um, in the Spencer family, and she's always had a sense of herself. She wasn't a social climber. As a matter of fact, if you look at her lineage, if you subscribe to the idea of the lineage and all of that aristocratic stuff, Princess Diana had a very strong sense of herself, but she didn't throw it in people's face. She didn't lord over people with it, and she didn't use it to hold people at bay. It just simply was, and she knew who she was, and she knew how important she was. The Spencer family, they are far more British than that German household that named themselves Windsor to hide their ancestry. So there was no pretense with her. But with the fumbles, there's nothing but pretense. So yeah, she wants the title. Once she gets it, God help her, she's going to be in a world of trouble. But she could always just grin her way through it and grin, a little jazz hand, and then some more grinning, and she'll be okay. Thank you so much for the super chat, and thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. And is that a lemon pound cake, a lemon bundt cake that you have for your profile picture? I am just so curious about that slice of cake with delicious icing drizzling down the side of it. But oh, that looks amazing. I mean, it's just like I want to go and make a cup of coffee and then just wait for my slice. Anyway, thank you so much. Okay, you guys, we got to get out of here because we are reaching that 2 hour mark. Hello, Sean. It would be shady if Charles gives it to Meghan. The haters would go into early stages of a stroke. That would be impossible, but if it were possible, yeah, it would be like remember when Mount St. Helens erupted and all those trees were laying down around the mountain? People would literally collapse in the street like that. It would be like logs flowing down a river. They would be beside themselves if that was possible. But thank you so much for your super chat, Sean, and thank you for that visual. And thank you ever so much for watching Royal Sussex. So you guys, Deanna C, thank you for the super sticker, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex, and thanks for being a member. Thank you for being a member. Okay. All right, I think we're good, right? Cream cheese pound cake. Well, I'm going to tell you the thing that I found that is so delicious, I can't stop thinking about it. There's a local bakery that makes a sweet potato cheesecake, and it has delicious whipped cream and drizzled with caramel and dark chocolate syrup, as well as a sprinkle of pecans. Now, who does that to another human being? Who does that to another human being? Oh, it is quite the treat. But last time I went over there, they didn't have any. But yeah, it's otherworldly, and it's an odd combination. You would think, cheesecake made with sweet potato. Oh, but you have not lived. You have not lived. So I don't think I'm going to go back over there because I need to. I need to go over there as soon as possible. Oh man. So thank you everyone, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. So let's ginger. I gotta work on that other closing video. I need to make a new opening and closing video, and I promise I will do that. But yeah, things have been just a little busier than usual for me. And I've been meaning to watch a couple of things on Netflix, and I just haven't gotten to it yet. Oh, here's the information we wanted. Lemon cake is my absolute favorite. Cheesecake is my second favorite. I make both and been told mine is better than Cheesecake Factory's. Cat, that is amazing. Well, that is a very good talent that you have, and thank you. Um, wow, it must be nice to be friends with Cat. Oh man. Okay, so thank you, Mary Eicher. Thank you, and I hope you're feeling better. And good night and hugs to you too. All right, put a pot of coffee on. Okay. I think this is our last word of the day. Everyone, be careful in this heat. Check on the elderly and be vigilant when out if someone leaves a child in the car. Several children have died already. Much love, Squatties. Yes, yes. If you think something is not your business, if there are children involved, make it your business because people are very busy and make mistakes, and that is great advice. Nazuri Malkia, thank you so much for saying that. Thank you for the last word of the day. And we are going to venture ourselves out of here. Oh, and then I have to make a thumbnail for this video. I don't know why I don't do those in advance. Oh, sometimes it's just, you know what? Sometimes it takes me 5 minutes. Sometimes it takes me 20 minutes. But I have to make a thumbnail. So you guys can go and rest. I got more work to do, but it's okay. It'll be fun. I like the creative part of it. Oh, you're welcome, Mary. Thank you for being here. Oh, Cookies and Cream says, uh, Trenchtown Man is always, always on the menu. As a matter of fact, this upheaval between father and son, I think the only person who can help broker a peace between the two of them is the Trenchtown Man. If there's any arbiter of peace that can help father and son, it must be.
Yes, sir. Prince. Trenchtown $140 billion. That's Trenchtown one. $345 billion. Yes, thank you. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what Trenchtown wants. Yes. What do you mean?
Trenchtown Man was singing that song, Hey Prince, Hey Prince. Oh man, there's nothing more. Actually, I don't know what my singing is, but yeah, it is something. It is something. I'm not sure what it is. Okay. Let me see. Prince, it would be nice if Baron remixed Trenchtown video with the Karen bicycle video. Oh, Yola B, that is clever. Thank you for that suggestion. Let's see what happens. Yeah, and then throw a little Duchess Mumbles in there with her side. Yeah, she would that would be the hook is beep 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 beep. I mean, honestly, I haven't heard anybody scat like that since Ella Fitzgerald. But thank you for the suggestion, and thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. Uh, oh, really? Really? Uh, you know, I love her. I love her. I did see a notification for that, but I didn't click on it because I was working, so obviously. But let me see what she got here. Oh, and it's on right now, you guys. Let's all go over there. Let me get the link for you guys. I'll pin it to the top of the chat, and then I'll join you guys over there. Why not? Why not? There is the link. And my new skill, I learned how to pin that to the top of the chat. Um, so I probably won't comment because I'm going to be working on my thumbnail, but that at least give me something to listen to. So, yes, that is genius. Thank you so much, Lydia. Okay, now I'm double checking to make sure that it takes us over there. Bye. But so long, Ivy, thank you for being here. So long, Connie Balmer. I love Sherry and Sade. She has such a media presence. I love her. If there was anybody who I thought in the squad could easily like find herself on The View or something like that, I would say it's Sherry. And she's just it's amazing. Just the way she presents herself. I love that. Oh, thank you for the reminder. Okay, you guys, love you guys, and I'm gonna go. Again, thank you for the 7 million subscribers. And please, 7 million views. Please subscribe. And let's get to 16,000 by the end of this week, or the end of the day. By the end of this week. Do it. Okay, bye guys. So long. Love you.